What's up, fight fans? This is Kirk DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jermall Charlo, Jose Benavidez Jr. Get this. Jermall Charlo has come in at 3.4 pounds overweight at 166.4 for his 163-pound catchweight fight versus Jose Benavidez Jr. tomorrow night. Benavidez Jr. has weighed in at 161.2. The camps are reportedly negotiating a deal for the fight to still take place. Let me counterpunch. This shows that Jermall Charlo has not been doing what he's supposed to do. See, above strategy, above weight training, above strength and conditioning, above all of those things, you have to keep in mind where your weight is. You can't do all this or do whatever you do at the gym, go home, eat a big ass pot of shit, and then come back to work. Garbage. You can't eat garbage and then get back to the gym. You have to keep in mind where you're at every day, especially the last 10 days. Some people are 5, but you know, when you're looking at weight and you know, like, hey, I'm at a certain weight limit, you have to be able to maintain the weight. You have to be able to make it first. So 3.4 pounds, that pretty much showed that he didn't make it. He just thought that he would make it. He gauged it all wrong. But it goes into mind, okay, this was a catch weight. All right. Jermall Charlo, if he comes in at a catch weight, which he should come in at the normal weight, and he wouldn't have made that anyway. But then since it's a catch weight, he knows ideally that, hey, I got this wiggle room. So he thought he had enough wiggle room to come in, but obviously he didn't. So I don't think Jermall Charlo was actually ever at 163. That's the problem. And if he was, it was probably a week ago before then. And then he just started eating bad. But what does that show? It shows unprofessionalism. That's unprofessional as hell. You've been out of the ring that long, and really, you know, he's the bigger guy. You can tell he doesn't look like Jermall at all no more. They call him Fat Charlo now. Fat Charlo. And they call him that simply because, you know, look at him. He's the bigger boy. He's big. He's always been big, but you can tell it's growing in his face. His face is getting a little wider and wider. You know what I mean? And Jermall, it doesn't look good for him, man. I mean, you got some wiggle room, and you couldn't even make that. It would be different if it was at 160, and then he could say, oh, well, my back injury and, you know, the long layoff. But if you know anything about being a professional fighter, is to come in on weight. I mean, you know, from A fighter to F fighters. No, hey, I have to make this weight to make this check. Now, the camps are reportedly negotiating a deal so the fight can still happen. But, you know, should the fight really happen, though? Honestly, I mean, I want it to happen, but I don't think it should. Because, I mean, if he can't make his own damn weight, you know, and then you look at Mauricio has gave him so many chances and gave him so many leeways and gave him so much liberty and let him pretty much do what he wants to do. You know, that makes him look bad as well, because it's like, okay, well, you know, at what point when are you going to start putting your foot down, Mauricio? You know what I mean? And penalizing him or doing something that a sanctioning body's supposed to do. You don't have to be all the way to the left like the IBF. But then again, you don't have to keep doing the same shit you're doing to make people question your legitimacy of your sanctioning body. You know, but I don't know. I mean, maybe, I don't know how they're going to work this out. But yeah, that's unprofessional, because Jermall Charlo, as many times as he's been in there with 32 fights, you know, he's been able to make weight, and all of a sudden he can't. It looks bad on him. It looks bad on his camp. It looks bad on his strength and conditioning coach. It looks bad on that whole side over there, because because at what point you pay these guys to make sure you're at a certain weight. Everybody looks, the head coach, the strength and conditioning coach, the corners, they weigh you. You're supposed to have a standard regulation scale there just for them to see where you're at. To see, okay, where are you at now, Jermall? You're looking a little thick, Jermall. Get on this scale, Jermall. Come on now. Where you at? Okay, 165. Okay. Hey, we got to go lean. Let's eat some vegetables. Let's cut the carbs all together because we got to get you where you need to be. You know what I mean? And if you're still hungry, hey, gnaw on some fruit. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, 3.4, he should really consider, not only himself, though. I know that he's fully responsible for making his own weight because he's responsible for what goes into his body. Just like if you get popped for PEDs, that's you're responsible, not your team or your corner. So he's primarily responsible. But his team, you have to look at them and hold some type of accountability for them knowing, or should I say not knowing, where the hell he was at before stepping on those scales. Okay, so like that, yeah, this looks bad for Jermall Charlo. I hate it for him, but then again, hopefully this is a wake-up call for him to not come into this situation, because it does question the legitimacy or the desire of how much you really wanted to fight Jose Benavidez. And here's the twister, people. In closing, maybe, just maybe, not saying it's true, but you could get the idea. Jose, Team Benavidez, could say, well, you know what? He knew what weight he was at. Therefore, he thought they were going to call it off. Therefore, he didn't want to fight me. You could say that. They could say that. Why? Because it's just strange. You're that much overweight. That's a lot of weight. That ain't a pound over. That's 3.4 pounds. Okay, you don't believe me? Try eating a 3.4 pound burger and ask me how you feel after that. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Jermall Charlo coming in at 3.4 pounds over his catch weight at 163. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.